Hello. It was a little longer than expected, but we're so glad that you still stuck with us. It's not a new stream of 2024 without some hiccups and some tech stuff. Uh, I don't have any announcements aside from Happy New Year, and you made it. One more rotation around the sun. Yes, we live in a Halo-centric universe, galaxy. I'm losing my shit today. Um, So before I make an even further fool of myself, let's go ahead and jump into what you guys actually came for. Meeting our players. Let's do that, shall we?
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Avery at Golden Gwydion on all of the social media platforms. I'm also the storyteller for the wonderful Vampire the Dark Ages Chronicle Transylvania Beckons right here on the Rolling Nomads. And this evening, I will be playing the debonair debutante, the bard extraordinaire, the cunning linguist, the lascivious lover, Calmassacre.
Hello, I'm Luna, or Druid by Night. You can find me at Druid by Night on all the things, including here on Twitch. I'm also a player in Transylvania Beckons. And tonight, I will be the Sorceress Supreme, Cersei Aveline.
Hello, everybody. I am the Azure Butterfly, or Azure for short, or simply Rachel. You can find me at theazurebutterfly.ttv. I am at _Azure Butterfly now. And yeah, I'm also a player in Transylvania Beckons as Prince Juliana Volstadt, and tonight I am the Bear Witcher Ingrid of Sintra.
Hello, I'm as I was on the social media because I think I'm funny. And tonight I will be playing everybody's favorite criminal, Relg, who is doing a damn fine job of hiding as I try and find his character sheet. We should have updated stealth. That son of a bitch.
Absolutely perfect. As I said, going into the new year, there's bound to be some hiccups, and that's just to be expected. But we roll with the punches and we continue on. Uh, so for our first stream of the new year, we are proud to present to you episode 30 of the Ways of Old. Let's get into it, shall we?
Episode 30, too.
Episode 30. Nice round number. We're doing
Yeah, I know, right?
so good.
That just scratched my tism so well.
This is usually the point where I would call on Ingrid for a recap. However, holidays has gotten the best of all of us, and so you're stuck with me tonight.
I promise I'll save you from Gilbert next time.
I appreciate that, because my recaps are bad, which is ironic because I kind of direct the story. So, we last saw our heroes. The beginning of last session, at the beginning of combat, where a succubus had revealed herself. Calamus had sliced off her hand, causing an upstir of sort of supernatural activity, it would seem, as a mysterious mist drifted down and joined the party in these strange catacombs of Fencarn. The mist solidified into what was very clearly a higher vampire. Very defensive. Some might say aggressive. I would likely disagree. But
I agree with you.
Seemed to be the defender of this individual that Calamus had wounded. The group, after establishing that there was a miscommunication and misunderstanding, spoke with this individual and spoke with the succubus about their plight and their mission to stop the one named Renwick. After some convincing and some conversation, individual invited them to his sort of cottage, a shack, if you will, just on the outskirts of Fencarn, in order to discuss what would be done now that they had wounded and taken up the staff that belonged to the succubus, who was identified now as Nuala. Before they departed, however, Cersei did her part in mending the wounds of this now possible friendship, and mended Noala's hand. A permanent sort of scar and a discoloration where the two pieces met once more. No longer perfect, but at least healed. Nuala and this higher vampire departed. Our friends, our heroes, departed after them, having conversations about sentience, monsters, and the staff itself, which seemed to be tied into, or rather, be designed with engravings that changed based on the viewer, showing them what they would desire most, what they find most alluring, and what they seek most of all. Our heroes arrived at the Higher Vampire's shack and began a conversation. This was primarily to determine if the group would be keeping what is known as the succubus wand, the relic staff that Cersei now has in her possession. After hearing their plight and their mission, and the individual that Renwick has captive, Nuala complied and said that they could keep the staff. In order to ascertain a bit more of the situation, Ingrid carefully studied the higher vampires facial movements, the pattern of speech, and determined that the succubus Nuala was in love with this higher vampire, but the higher vampire didn't feel the same. They were going through some sort of breakup, it would seem. Conversation continued, and the higher vampire, having introduced himself as Regis, requested that Nuala depart from the place. Now that the information was out that the succubus felt a sort of compulsion, a sort of addiction almost, a difficult to place desire that would make it difficult for her to stay here. She departed, and Regis invited the rest to stay for tea and a discussion. And that is where we find our heroes now. The pot on the fire. He has bid you all to find seating where you are able, and you are now guests in his home. The scene is yours.
If I remember correctly, Ingrid made the executive decision of coming here unarmed. So the swords would be in the. So this is just me making a mental note. Well, swords are still in the carriage. Ingrid is probably going to find a seat nearest to fire for the moment, if that's possible. Looking at her companions and then to Regis. What is Regis doing right now?
Tending to the kettle, sort of adjusting the distance it is from the fire itself.
And she's just going to ask, forgive me for asking something that may not be my place. Is definitely not my place, but I'm curious what your relationship with Nuala was.
I'm afraid that's a bit too private for such early conversation.
Fair enough. Forgive me. I have a natural curiosity, you could say. Especially when it comes to motivations of love and the like.
He nods and, sort of satisfied with where the kettle is, in the distance from the fire, leans up against the side wall of this shack and lets his eyes pass over all of you. You've been awarded a reprieve of sorts.
You're muted.
Yep.
I
Trixie will make her way and sit next to Ingrid.
Ingrid's going to look to Cersei and give a soft smile before turning back to Regis, and she's going to say, "A reprieve, perhaps, but something that I've learned is one is never truly safe from Renwick's gaze one way or another."
Why does he frighten you so?
I witnessed what his words are capable of just as well as his claws, his teeth. She's going to tilt her head to one side and show off the, probably not as fresh as it was, sorry, and show off the scar, the bite mark that remains on her neck. He took from me, not only in blood, without my consent, but my family, my home. He orphaned me from my own found family for 40 years and killed my love in front of my eyes.
Afraid. I must confess, I believe you're avoiding the question. Why does he frighten you so? To know that someone is powerful and to know that someone is terrifying, not the same as giving reason to frighten you. Does his power terrify you? Are you not a monster slayer?
I've faced a lot of things in my lifetime, but never one who can manipulate dreams such as he. Never one who could force himself into my own mind in such a way and to manipulate me so. That frightens me.
Grows silent and nods as you reply. He goes to a cupboard and begins to take out various bits of dining ware. Various glasses, very clearly not a part of the same set. Begins to set them on a small table. And says, "I apologize, I don't get many guests. You'll have to forgive my lack of preparation. Some of your cups will be more filled than others."
It's quite all right. We appreciate your hospitality.
Indeed.
Calamus will just tap the wineskin on his belt. I can make sure we're all leveled off at least.
Calamus, he eyes your wineskin and says, "What's your drink of choice?"
That
Judged.
is a nuanced question.
I'll simplify it for you. What's in the skin?
Plunk, really. A middling Temerian wine. I gave you the best bottle that I had, that Toussaint vintage.
Well, if this hospitality is this that my invitation is being viewed as, I would wish to sully it by offering you, or rather not offering you, a reprieve from your plunk. He goes to another cupboard, pulls out what looks like a very similar clay cask to the one that you carry now, Calamus, that spell jar. Save this one is not wax sealed and covered with twine and sort of inscribed with what would be arcane rune. It's a simple spout. He uncorks, and then one of the glasses he pours a crystal clear liquid that could likely be mistaken for water. He shifts the table so it's closer to all of you, and it pushes the clear liquid towards you, Calamus. If you drink plunk, then I don't imagine you'll have an issue with moonshine.
Oh, of course not. Though I also have an answer to your question. If you would not be remiss to take two answers.
We are drinking, we are talking.
I've never met Renwick, but he frightens me. Because he takes everything and gives nothing back. And I'm not worried that he may take me. Though a craven I might be, I certainly wish to avoid such a thing. I'm worried he can take, kind of look over to Cersei, and then Rogue and Ingrid. I'm worried that he will take from me the things I cannot recover in time. Death doesn't happen to us. Isn't that a strange concept? We don't experience our own death. Our death is experienced, weighted, found lacking or full by those we've spent our time amongst. Your death doesn't happen to you, it happens to your family and your friends. And I'm worried that before he takes me, he will take everyone who ever would feel my death.
There's a knowing look from Ingrid to Calamus as he says that.
Cersei grips the staff tightly. She doesn't let it go.
Is it true? We had been discussing your kind before, and it had come up that only higher vampire can kill higher vampire. Is that true?
Who told you this? And where did you come across this information, Monster Slayer?
First in rumor, and then others of your kind. Others who are sympathetic to our cause.
Sympathy for the heroes. My kind is so loose-lipped, I see no reason why I should lie now. Yes. We will be remade in time. Takes a great deal depending on the injury. I myself am still recovering from something quite difficult.
I have a further question for that, if you do not mind me asking, and this is for one that has already been destroyed quite thoroughly. I know it depends on the manner of the injury, but if one were to be fully dismembered, how long would something like that take to regenerate from?
I need you to roll me something here. I want you to roll empathy and persuasion, Ingrid.
Heard. Empathy is 7. Persuasion is 2. That's 9 plus. $18.
There is a limit. A fine gossamer line between hospitality and interrogation. I'm afraid, much like your previous question, it's far too early on in our acquaintance for me to answer such things.
That is completely understandable. Realistically, the reason I ask is because the one that we destroyed, just in case of transparency, was one who was trying to summon the wild hunt into our realm.
Of course. I would encourage you to seek this information elsewhere. I'm sure that he looks to you, Cersei. Your partner has passed information to you, yes? Our laws and
Sure.
traditions.
She'll nod.
Even without any of my kind present, it would be remiss to reveal too much, especially to ones I've just met.
I understand. With some of the deeper Witcher secrets, I, too, am bound.
I must ask each of you, do you drink from the cups?
Ingrid will.
How full did how much moonshine did he put in the cup?
It's not a full glass. I would say probably 4 ounces.
A double shot. Yeah. Calamus will just raise it. To new friendships.
It's smooth, Calamus. It's the same sensation of burning that you experience with other finer liquors, but there is an extra bite to this that's sort of in the aftertaste. Anyone who's experienced the burning sensation of liquor going down, the sensation kind of kicks off really once it's fully been imbibed. The sensation of drunkenness takes time to absorb. This, you can feel, Calamus, is already almost like fighting you. It's... To say this is strong is an understatement. The rest of you, should you choose to drink from your cups, it is a sweeter tea. It's there's a hint of mint to give it a refreshing sort of aftertaste as you breathe, but the taste of it almost there's this undertone of berries.
This is quite good.
Thank you again.
You're quite welcome. Fancy myself a novice in terms of craft of drinks.
What sort is this one? If you don't mind me asking that.
Wild berries, a special blend and combination. One that I will unfortunately be refraining from sharing for less ominous reasons than vampiric law and tradition.
Enterprising of you.
Do your kind take part in intoxicants?
Nods. Some. Myself have been the term you use, sober, for a number of years now.
Congratulations. Completely off topic. Wow, my fingertips are already buzzing. Yeah, this is a strange sort of spirit you've put before me, dear Regis. But I've been learning a bit about witchery, how to be a witcher and whatnot.
Ingrid's ears perk up if they could, and she's now focusing on Calamus.
And it's no secret that witches take things from monsters and imbibe them and change.
The mutagens.
Right, yes, that's the word. Mutagens. Now, if a witcher were to craft a mutagen of a higher vampire, could they kill a higher vampire, do you think?
No.
Is
That's
that
not
out of
done.
self-preservation that you say no?
Experience.
Interesting.
Your friend.
Right,
No, I don't
right.
believe-
The witcher you said you knew, yes.
No, I don't believe he's partaken in any such mutation. I would hope not.
You hope not? Ingrid asks as a question.
The White Wolf is, whether he knows it or not, already walking a thin line. Pushing his limits constantly. There's only so much a man, even a witcher, can push before he breaks.
You speak of Geralt of Rivia, she says as she visibly tenses.
Yes, toss a coin to your witcher.
Ingrid shoots a fucking glare at Calamus.
It's
Almost
a
like
good
a
song. It's a good song. I'm sorry I brought it up.
Do you know him?
I know
Yes.
of him. Oh, you were asking Ingrid. I'm so sorry.
I mean,
This is
the question
you
could have
alright?
been to both of us, or one of us, or either of us. It doesn't. I think
You're great. Feel fantastic. This is wonderful.
Rogue's gonna hand the rest of his tea to Calamus.
But yes, Ingrid's gonna say, yes, I know Geralt of Rivia. We have met on occasion, and I have seen him in passing. But I try to keep my distance.
I won't pry.
Thank you. But the reason I asked as well, and this is once again, think of this as, what is the word that I'm looking for, Cersei?
Transparency.
Transparency is another one, just like my skin. I have consumed a mutagen from a higher vampire.
He furrows his brow. Says, before or after you were bitten?
After.
And you are quite lucky. It's likely the reason your wound is not infected. Unless you took the necessary steps to treat the wound, which kind of looks around the room.
I did heal it.
Magically, yes.
Yeah.
There are
Ingrid's
lingering
just
effects,
touching.
depending on which higher vampire you're dealing with. And looking at all of you, I can tell that none of you are a doctor. Magic healing is effective. There are still steps after to be taken. In some situations. Special situations.
Is there anything wrong with this that you can see then?
Save for the marks upon your flesh, no. Feel tension amongst all of you. Are you uncomfortable?
I am always like this.
Am I
Cersei will.
keeping you, Lady Mage?
Hmm?
Am I keeping you, Lady Mage?
No, sir, no. I'm just lost in thought. Forgive me if I'm being rude by being silent.
Judging off your tail, you have much to think on.
Ingrid will reach a hand up and kind of squeeze Cersei's shoulder a little bit, reassuringly.
How does your kind reproduce, Regis?
Cersei will kind of look to
That's-
Calamus.
That seems
Well,
like a very personal question.
If it is,
Calamus.
if it is, please forgive me. But it dawned on me. You are such long-lived creatures, no? And I've heard a few tales about other long-lived ancient creatures. I've heard that, well, firstly, elves are having problems breeding with one another. I've heard that the dragons no longer lay eggs, what few dragons there are left. I'm curious because it seems as if all of the more ancient species are losing their ability to make more of themselves. And again, please forgive me if this is a touch too much, but
I don't imagine it's, though crass, I don't imagine it's taboo to discuss such things. And I would imagine that the Mandrake Moonshine is already giving you a bit more confidence.
Mandrake.
My own special brew.
Fascinating.
delightful. I'm spirited.
Was that in all of our cups, or is just Calamus's?
You guys had tea. He looks at you, Calamus, and says, "You won't be expiring anytime soon. I've taken a great deal of time to perfect my craft. At least in that regard, for the brewing process. Crass though it may be, it's not a taboo question. We have the ability to procreate, much like humans. However, for simplicity's sake, we do not. It is best to say we cannot. And in many a sense, it's true, we cannot. But it is possible.
Why? I mean, why don't you? It's like a population control thing. If there's too many of you, there won't be enough humans to eat.
Precisely that. We don't
It
need
makes
you.
a certain amount of sense.
We don't require your essence. But it is addictive. It is a substance that we imbibe on for pleasure. And many of us have not become so refined as to know moderation.
Been there.
Now imagine teenagers.
Fair enough.
The thought of a horde of young vampires can be quite terrifying.
Thus, Benwick.
Exactly.
Is he young?
Quite. Pretends to be older than he is. And in many ways he is wise beyond his years. But he still has the folly of youth in his thoughts.
Comparatively, how old would you feel him be?
would imagine that he has no memory and no direct tales of where we're from. Years I cannot guess. In truth, time is very difficult. Counting years. Link.
Without my journal, it is becoming difficult for me, and I'm not as long-lived.
You go off events more than anything.
Quite so.
Were you all here before the convergence? So you came here with us?
We arrived as pilgrims.
Most things on this planet of ours, as of now, are from other places, it seems.
Thus the conflict.
Huh.
You said that Renwick wishes to release the Wild Hunt, the Red Riders.
They have some deal with their king,
Is that right?
apparently. I know not what, but Renwick's understanding of it is that he will have the power with the Wild Hunt to do what he wishes. The dominance of your kind.
The folly of youth. Feel a strange compulsion to apologize, though he is not my mistake.
It is
Would you
not
kill
your
him?
fault.
Would I? Would I?
Well, of course you could. I'm asking if you would.
He's quiet for a moment, and in this moment I'd like you, if you would all like to, make a roll of human perception.
$19.
25.
No.
Oh shit! Alright, okay.
Nice. I need a BRB really quick. I can still hear.
16.
19, 25,
I need to put some IP
16,
into human perception. I think I
21.
did.
21.
Figure that
You can all see, he's very clearly thinking about the situation. Not what it would entail, but more so if it would be worth it. Not in terms of the glory he would receive or the bounty, but more so like the repercussions of such an action. Either on the laws that you all have heard of, or the weight on his soul from committing such an act. In this moment he looks at you, Calamus, and says, I'm afraid not.
You said it yourself, though. The folly of youth. His goals are not as thought out as one might be later on.
No, they're not. And though it might be selfish, his actions are trivial. My kind.
You're kinda not an island. What affects us affects you. It may not be today. It may not be 100 years from now. When these things occur, if we do not stand together against the tides of chaos and villainy, the tide will rise to your doorstep, Regis. It's only a matter of time.
And should that day come, I will strike him down myself. But in my current state, I'm of no use
course.
to you.
You did say that you were injured and still recovering. I won't press why or how. But is that why? Like, is that,
The display of ferocity you saw before was perhaps all I could muster. If we're being honest, and it would seem that you all have done so, I'm uncertain who would have walked out of those catacombs alive.
I may not I may have a cold reputation, but I am not one without, how's the phrase, eyes or heart. I saw your actions are why I stayed my blade, instead of doing what most would have considered me do.
I'm thankful for the hesitation. We are functionally immortal, but it would have been quite a damper on my healing process.
I don't mean to pry. Would magical healing work to help you?
No. I have pursued as much as I can. The only thing that can help me is he stops. Cut short by his own perhaps conscience, or perhaps a realization that he was going to reveal too much. This continues, says, I've pursued all I can. I'll be better in time.
Right.
I hope nothing more happens to you. You seem like a kind man.
As I say, we are functionally immortal. I am sure that many things will happen to me. Not all of them pleasant. But that is the gift of life experience. Most of you will enjoy quite a number of experiences.
There is a further question that I had, one that has admittedly been on my mind when I've discovered Renwick's potential to recover, if not done in by one of your own. While we Witchers are long-lived, there is no definitive answer to how long that may be, as most of us do meet our end before old age catches up with us. But is there a way, and I realize that this is also another very deep question for us, but I feel I must ask, is there a way for you to pass on your immortality?
Ah, transference. No. It's been sought before. Enjoy the years that you have. Yours especially will be many.
We shall see. I appreciate your honesty.
Calamus is going to open their journal to the same place where they were taking notes when Ingrid was talking. And before we just pass on to simple pleasantries and enjoying one another's company, there is one pertinent question for my notes. Is there any true relation between you and the other vampiric species?
Oh wow, Ingrid actually perks up as like, damn, I should have. I didn't even think to ask that, and actually pulls out her notebook too.
Because I mean, we fought what are they called again? Bruxa?
Bruxa, and there's also crap. Azure forgot how to say this name. The one that we fought in the caves.
Garkin.
Garcane.
He sort of smiles, looking at the two of you with your notebooks, your journals. Says, I'm afraid I'm not the proper teacher for that information. I myself don't remember coming to this place. Memory is lost to me. As for our relation to the others that you classify as vampires, I simply don't know. Perhaps we came from the same homeland, or perhaps something very similar to ours is where they hail from. There are very clear distinctions and very clear connections here. It's amusing, I find myself wondering late at night. You ever find
A question
the
I
answer?
didn't even think to ask myself.
You should ever find the answer, or was someone who was willing to share a bit of truth, with evidence, of course. You know where I reside, at least in the summers.
If you ever need us, I at least owe you a favor. I don't think a bottle of Tusanti Vintage quite covers the inconvenience.
It's true. When offering favors to immortals, it's a grave thing. You will enjoy less years than most. The debt could pass to your children or your children's children. Further still.
Well, there would be a problem with that, as I am not intending on copulating with women anytime soon, so I don't believe that children is going to be an issue. And I have plans for the years. I think one day I will meet you again and you'll hardly recognize me.
Smiles.
See, and I don't mean for this to be a jab at all. So before I continue, I say all of what I am about to say with great respect to you, as you've been not only a gracious host, but have forgiven me for a dire misstep in conduct.
A raise of an eyebrow.
Ingrid is just like sitting over there, like one hand on her cup, one hand on her chin, just.
I met a very old elf. A very long time ago. And I noticed something. And I noticed it with old humans and even an old dwarf once. You get rigid when you're old man. You gotta think on your feet. Make life your... What did that rapscallion say in that one in Relk? Make life your bitch. That's what he said.
That's not exactly how that went.
And that
That
is
is one way of
precisely what I
phrasing that.
intend to do.
Then I look forward to claiming your favor. Whatever years you have left, minstrel.
There'll always be time.
You're all entertaining, at the very least. You may stay if you'd like. For a night or two. Or you continue on your quest.
rest in a regrouping, if you will, might be in order. As for myself, I find myself in an interesting position to where once, even with my understanding of sentience, I found myself utterly angered by your kind. But as for meeting one who shifted my heart, that I find myself offering something that I never foresaw myself doing before. And she's going to stand slowly and she's going to offer her hand. While I may not offer a boon, what I do offer is a witcher's friendship. Should you need me.
The notion is appreciated. Takes your hand and says, "But you'll forgive me if I not count you all as friends just yet."
That is fair.
No, definitely fair. You can't be friends with someone who owes you something, so. I know you're dying to be my friend, Regis, but I owe you. You know, these things.
This is just how he is.
Smiles. Says, "I know part of your story. And as I said, you may stay as long as 2 nights, maybe 3. Regroup. But any longer, I risk unwanted eyes."
Then if it is copacetic with the rest of the group, 1 night, and then we will be on our way.
At least 1 night.
Cersei will nod slowly.
Give me an awareness roll, Cersei.
Ha!
Explode?
Yes.
Nice.
16 plus 15 is
31.
31.
Hold on to that number. Well, I will hold on to that number. You are bid to stay the night with Regis. You may do so. You may converse. He's asked the rest of your story. He asks things, if you allow. How did you come to meet Renwick? He knows your side of things, Ingrid. But there is question. He's sort of getting backstory from you all. And he's willing to share some of his as well. As the night continues, T has had, if you are brave, another double of Mandrake Moonshine, as well as the moonshine is available to anyone who wishes to imbibe.
Ingrid's gonna want to try it.
Excellent.
We drinking moonshine till we pass the fuck out.
Perfect. Jokingly said, but I must ask if that is the plan.
Ingrid will not. She will definitely have a couple. One that she enough to where she knows that she's gonna feel a little buzzed, but with her Witcher constitution, not as bad.
Calamus is going till Rogue has to drag him to bed.
Excellent.
Yeah. Rogue's not partaking because Rogue's not sure about the situation yet. Rogue's been standing there listening, watching. And before we leave, is going to bring up that Regis paused.
Cersei has been quiet and not letting go of the staff.
During the conversation, as all of you converse, as Regis shares stories with all of you. You learn things about his life. Farthest back that he can remember is the year 842 is what he can remember, or at least that he claims he remembers. And he details historical events, some things that you've only read about, some things you've only heard stories. Some are first-hand accounts of great battles that he claims your heroes of old were truly young upstarts, less refined than yourselves. He bids you to sing, Calamus, to tell stories and to regale him with what is now known as truth, and he takes a great pleasure as you all get to know one another in pointing out small inaccuracies. But he remarks that most of the songs, most of the stories that you tell, they are changed for good reason. The truth is not always so pretty. And as you all have these conversations, tell these stories, sing these songs, Cersei, you notice his eyes pass to you quite frequently. He takes notice of you silent. He seems to not watch, but keep checking on you as you grip the staff. He's assessing you, it feels like.
I think when everyone else goes to bed, Cersei will linger.
We will get to that very shortly. Calamus, Ingrid, Relg, is there anything during this time of getting to know one another that you wish to inquire or that you wish to bring up?
I was going to have Ingrid actually ask Cersei about the quietness, but
You may.
Ingrid's going to sit next to Cersei again after a moment and once again rest a hand on her shoulder and squeeze. And she's going to say, you are a lot quieter than usual. What is on your mind?
A lot. I have a lot in my mind. I finally have this. And I'm just thinking.
She's going to look from Cersei to the staff. Is it still doing the shenanigans that it was doing before? So I start seeing those things again. Ingrid stares at the staff herself in that moment, probably seeing the vision of a river, her on one side and Aaron on the other. Him smiling at her and offering a hand. And she's going to close her eyes and shake her head a bit. And then she's going to look to Cersei and say, Elodie?
Of course. What else would be on my mind?
We are going to save her.
I know.
But you should also not let yourself linger too much. I say this from experience, and as a possible hypocrite. But thinking too deeply on what ifs, being in one's own head too much, can be quite dangerous. can be. She looks like she's searching for a word. Not good.
Fine.
Ingrid's going to just study Cersei for a moment. With everything that we have been through over the past several months now, we have never had a moment to breathe, to think so clear-headedly, even at Aretusa. Give yourself that moment. It is okay to grieve, and it is okay to worry. Just do not let it consume you like it has me.
Just nod.
And she's going to reach up a hand, slightly touching the staff. And just remember, Elodie is not here. She is, and she's going to rest a hand on your heart. She's going to say she's there. And then she's going to stand up, offer Cersei a smile. If you need to
Cool.
talk about things, I will be here, but I will also not pressure or pry.
Thank you.
Calamus, Relg, is there anything you wish to accomplish during this moment of reprieve?
With Regis's stories, does he mention anywhere near Sindaris?
In what way? Being there?
Yeah, recently.
Not recent. Well, not really recently for you all. He regards it as recently, and then he details events after the fact that took place. If my timeline is right, about 20, 30 years after. I could be wrong, but some time after. But yes, he's traveled. He is well traveled.
Yeah. If it's not recent, Raoul will just kind of drop it a little bit. It's that curiosity, and then this is going to lead to nowhere good.
I think the only thing Calamus is trying to do is
Oh my God.
at some
Stay
point
standing up straight.
he's gonna be like, Regis, what's the first song you can remember? Like, what's the first song, like the oldest one, all the way back there? Like, I want some 836 oldies.
He smiles, and says, I'm afraid I've never been one for song.
Oh, come on, Regis. Look at you. You're a man built for song. You have forever to live within the melodies which trifle through the air as if they were carefree moths towards the inevitable flame that is death.
Were you longer lived and seen me in my youth, then you would know just how wrong you are, minstrel.
So everybody likes songs written about them, Cal.
I'm not saying writing one about him. I want a song no other living bard knows. I want an
When I
old one.
used to imbibe, I was much braver than I am in my sobriety, and I was known to sing a cat's wail into the night. You would not enjoy it.
Do you remember the words to a song? I don't need you to sing it. I need some material here. I need something unique, something with a certain je ne sais quoi, as you say in Toussaint, yes?
Cersei, what's je ne sais quoi?
Sex appeal, je ne sais quoi.
Give me an empathy persuasion.
Ayo.
We're just sipping moonshine and tea over here, like watching Calamus have a full-on breakdown.
32, baby.
You know, at some point, Rogue just came up behind Calamus's chair just to, like, steady him. Yeah.
He begins Calamus and says, "I'll pass you information, minstrel, though no one will know what you're talking about. No one will understand the value of the thing that you hold. The story of home, passed on from ones older than myself." He begins to speak the words, though you catch, likely all of you, there is a fight that occurs. Speaking song lyrics is very difficult. Trying not to add at least the melody and the inflection is very difficult. And you catch Regis doing this, where he raises his voice, or like he puffs out his chest as if to bellow a word, but he does stop himself. It begins, in the age of conjunction, the spheres aligned, a mystic dance, fate intertwined. Worlds collided, chaos abound, and we rose from the depths, the lost were found. Passes you.
Great. I'll ad-lib a few more verses. This is wonderful. No. This is great. I'm just scribbling furiously, like, in the margin has already, like, drawn, like, a musical staff and is putting, like, notes to, like, words and whatnot. Just fully composing as he's listening.
Music is truly a magical art.
He passes you a song, Calamus, and I will pass you the skeleton of a song that you may feel free to fill in, as most bards do.
Oh, God.
You gotta do the remix.
Listen, I could play this at the next tavern. You don't have to hear a song about you, Relg. Give you a little break.
You're going to, though. Every time you're like, no, I'll move on to my next one. Then you look at me and you're like, you have to go back to the classics, Relg. It's important to make sure that you go.
It's what the crowd wants, my darling, and we have to give the people what they want.
Right fucking there. Right there. That's every time. Every goddamn
They
time.
want to hear the sorrow.
Does this happen a lot?
Every fucking day. Just... Yeah, but that was Calamus's plan.
Excellent. As
before
I said,
being drunkenly dragged off to bed.
Excellent. I will get you the skeleton of a song, which again you may feel free to fill in. Eventually, you feel the pull of night. You feel the ease of sleep trying to creep its way in. One by one, you may rest. There is your cart. Regis doesn't have much way in the offer of sleeping accommodations, but he offers to move things. There are what looks like the ability to have two beds here, one in the back where he keeps, where two people could reasonably squeeze. But yes, eventually, Cersei, you wanted to wait.
Yeah, I think as like Raoul drags Calamus to bed, And Ingrid gets ready to leave. Cersei's just staring at the fire.
Then, since this is waiting for Ingrid to leave, I'll just say what Ingrid's going to do is she's just going to go outside to the cart, and she's going to sit herself by one of the wheels.
Alone with Regis, Cersei, he picks up the cups, stacking them and putting them, looks like, in a specific, almost crate or some sort of box coated in wax on the outer edges. It says, I can put on another kettle, if you would like.
It's alright. I wanted to ask, though, I noticed you were watching me.
Apologize, I don't mean to stare. But I can't help but notice several things about you, really. One, being your grip on the staff.
I wish I didn't have to take it.
She gave it to you freely.
Did. And my gratitude, I wish I could repay her.
You can do. She gave you the staff not out of the kindness of her heart, but in order for you to see your love won. She's sentimental. To fulfill her wish, rescue Elodie and ride into the sunset.
That is the plan, although she'll stop. I worry that it's not enough.
Why do you think that?
Because I've also seen what he can do. What his pack can do.
Why do you fear him?
Because he's heartless. There's no reasoning with somebody like that. And that's alien to me.
You are correct. He might be heartless. Of that I'm unsure, but what I know for certain is he cannot be reasoned with. That makes your task easier, not more difficult. You are skilled in magic. From what I understand of our Tusa, manipulation, political gain, words.
Many words.
Now you must rely on your magic and steel. He will not listen. He will manipulate far better than you could ever have hoped. His centuries of experience. Your task is to kill. Reason requires thought. Reason requires planning. Killing is far simpler. I don't condone such barbaric behaviors in most senses. But in yours, I think you would not be swayed.
Don't either condone such things. Me. And she'll just look down at her feet. I'm angry, Regis.
Second thing I noticed of you. Silence comes from discomfort. Silence comes from sadness. Silence comes from rage. You seem well past the point of being sad.
I saw her torn, her limbs torn from her at his command. And I didn't even have time to process it, what I saw. And I realize this isn't your problem. And I'm just spilling my guts to you, and we barely know each other.
Strangers are awfully the best confidants. Should you wish, you will never see me again. Every secret you pass from your lips into mine ears, I will share with no one. Who would I share with? Who would care?
Who indeed?
What you must take care to remember, and this will be, I am well aware, no large comfort. She will heal. She will persist. I knew Elodie when I was young. Briefly. In an era where both of us were making poor decisions. You could not possibly understand what she has already suffered. It would take you far more years than you have, or will have. What she is suffering now is far less than she has had in the past. And far less, I imagine, what she'd be willing to suffer to see you once more.
She'll just nod and wipe her face, tearing up very quickly. I feel I've taken enough of your time.
Dear girl, haven't you been listening? I have nothing but...
I would like to meet again someday. When I'm less angry.
would like to see that.
And
Though
she'll
I did not
stand.
find you to...
She'll take a deep breath and stand, kind of using the staff to support her a little bit. Kind of awkwardly stand there for a second and then just say, "Good night, Regis. Thank you."
nods and says, "Good night, Miss Abbott."
She'll do her best to offer a sweet smile and depart to the... You said there was... Let's just go to the cart. That's fine.
Yeah, Ingrid's out by the wheel, kind of just sitting in a meditative stance, swords at her back. Again, already strapped.
She'll notice you meditating and not want to disturb that, and just kind of climb into the cart. Start taking off her face. Heal layer by layer.
Yeah.
With that, we're going to jump into our break. We will see you all very shortly after a brief moment for tech and bio. We will see you very soon. Hello, we've come up with at least a nourishment plan for our eventual compound. You will all enjoy soup. You will enjoy soup.
There's no yes or no to that question.
You
There is
will
only
enjoy soup. Welcome back. We last left our heroes retiring for the evening. For the evening with Regis has come to a close. And now all of you heading off into your respective spaces for sleep.
So yeah, Ingrid is by the wheel meditating, having heard Cersei go into the because when she's meditating, her senses are acute because she's also trying to keep which you're keeping a lookout while they're resting situation. So she heard Cersei go into the cart by her, but she kind of figures that if Cersei wanted to talk about anything, she would approach her. So she's gonna let Cersei have her piece for the moment and kind of just like settle in, get ready, just to keep her ears open and doing her thing, but her mind keeps wandering, and as she keeps wandering, it's going to lose focus, just remembering a lot of the images that she saw herself on the succubus wand, and she's going to fall asleep, probably for the first actual time in a while now.
Ingrid, roll me a d10. All of you head to sleep. There is the quiet of night that falls over this place. As the moon rises, for Relg, I want to ask you, how do you sleep? Normally, on the given day.
Normally, Rel will find a spot and then just kind of go over everything in the day. And that's kind of his like way of winding down, because he knows that when he sleeps, it's usually not well. He has a lot of nightmares. It's like it's a condition or something. I don't know.
I'd love to ask you what your nightmares are of, Relg.
A fire that he can't put out. Of seeing himself back in the room where they took his ears and where she tried to sacrifice him for her own means. Sometimes it's him running through the woods with a broken sword. but it's always running away from something.
You ever get away, Relk?
Usually he wakes up right before it goes poorly for him, or he wasn't able to get away.
Your night
And that's kind of where it
goes-
differs from what actually happened.
Night goes like any other, plagued by your own nightmares. Calamus, I must ask you the same question. How do you sleep on a regular night?
On a normal night, at least with a slight of moderate intoxication, honestly, Calamus sleeps deeply. They're one of those people that, when they finally do get that elusive grasp on unconsciousness, they ride it for all it's worth. Calamus is notorious for sleeping in and just generally existing within the realm of deep slumber. They don't remember a lot of their dreams, but when they do, they're almost nonsensical. They have a lot of dreams about things that can't be real in the world that they live in.
Like what? If you don't asking.
Just like fantastical creatures and like fantastical like arms and armament and knights and stories. Their imagination truly runs wild in their dream space.
Excellent. Ingrid, how do you sleep?
As the problem is with actually letting herself fall asleep. Well, maybe not letting herself, but falling asleep with certain thoughts in her head. Once again, be it for whatever reason, she is going to dream. And it's going to be there's a few that she usually has, as we've seen in earlier episodes. This one with the talk with Regis, with what she saw through the succubus wand the day before. She's going to have, even if that dream in particular was a possible manipulation by Renwick, that same dream that she had the night at Cersei's shop, the night with Aaron, the wedding that never happened, seeing Renwick's face. It's not a completely sound sleep, no. As just right when the bite happened in real time, so many months ago now, she jars awake, sweating, panting, clutching at her sword that she didn't know she grabbed.
By the wheel, Ingrid. There is no one to comfort you.
Ingrid is just going to take a moment to ground herself, center herself in the moment, reminding herself that he's not here right now. That happened a while ago now. That her friends, at least for the moment, are safe. Cersei's right there in the cart. Does Cersei snore?
No.
Relg and Calamus are in Regis's home, and Regis seems nice. So she's going to take her steel sword, and then she's going to place it in the ground before her, and then hold it carefully, pressing her forehead against the cold steel, and just breathing.
Do this. Trouble finds many of you while you rest tonight. Cersei, how do you sleep on a regular night?
Lately, well, in general, Cersei has very vivid dreams that she doesn't remember when she wakes up. She usually sleeps pretty deeply, although she's a light sleeper. And lately, she kind of dreads going to sleep, worried that she'd have a nightmare.
Worried. Entirely fair. You've spent so much time staring at the staff, Cersei. When you dream tonight, find yourself in what almost feels familiar. The vineyard. Walking, you smell the scent of grapes in the sun. You see field hands tending to your hard-earned, hard-won victory, your hard-won trophy almost. Walking past everything. Walk. And you see Elodie, your home, standing in the door, waiting.
Quicken my step towards her.
Walk. Kurt. Hard scrub step you take is slow, weighted, seem to notice, and she smiles. What do you do, Cersei?
I'll keep walking and trying to fight it almost.
This. You don't seem to get anywhere. Cersei.
I will. Yeah, I'll attempt to teleport. It's a dream. I can do whatever I want.
I don't see why not. Do this. And it doesn't take. You look down at your left and your right wrists. The meridian shackles hold you. What do you do?
Pull at the shackles and call out for Elodie.
Smile falters. He takes a step forward and something reaches from the doorway from inside the house and grabs her shoulder and steps into full view. You can see Renwick smiling. Begins to struggle, trying to reach you. The grip he has on her is too great. What do you do?
I think at this point, Cersei would be in the dream, just struggling and calling out to them, get away from her, calling out Elodie's name, but her voice is actually silent.
From the vineyard, along your path, see emerging from the grapevines, Regis, Nuala, Ingrid, Calamus, Relg, all the mages of Aretusa, the old Witcher who you saw fight for your escape, Sinyoka, all coming from the vines. Ingrid's voice is the first you hear. Important that you don't linger. You hear, Triss, we can't hesitate. Here in Yoka, we move forward. All these urgings, all these pushings, all these things urging you on, telling you not to hesitate, to linger, to dally. Each step gradually gains you more ground. And Renwick laughs. Changes. Each step you grow closer to the vicious form that you've seen that higher vampires take. Gain more ground. And as you are coming within casual speaking distance, quickly rips, reaching up from her right side along her waist, gripping her throat. At her neck, he smiles and pulls her into the home. Door slamming behind the two. You are suddenly released. No slogging steps weight you down anymore, Cersei. What do you do?
I think Cersei would run towards, well, take however many steps towards the door and pound on it, screaming, before taking a couple steps back. And again, it's just a dream. She can do whatever she wants, technically, just blowing it open with magic. Or trying to.
Roll me single d10. Have your spell casting modifier. Alright, and this will be a spell casting roll. Full spell casting, please.
Okay. Oh, it's cocked. Should have taken the cocked roll. 22.
22. House blows open. The doorway is gone. The structural integrity of the home remains. Planks of wood, stone, to drift off into nothingness. Past the vines, past all your friends, continually their words becoming a chorus.
Right, I just run into the house.
Find her. In pieces. Renwick standing over her, laughing. Slow, little one. Far too slow. What do you...
I think she would drop to her knees. And just trying to put the pieces back together.
Continues to laugh as you try to heal, as you try to mend. And chokes out through blood. Where were you? Renwick speaks and says, "Shh. Come now, darling. Even the most exceptional just takes a long claw from his index finger, stabs into her heart slowly. Her eyes widen. He tries to lean toward you. Ins. Or down next to your ear. Alien. Slow. Hesitant. I have all. Bring me a smile. It is in this moment, Cersei, you wake up. You are not in the cart. You are in the grass. Elsewhere. The night sky hanging over your head. You are in a cold sweat. Your heart is beating incredibly fast.
I think she would quickly, sit up and look around. Do I see anything?
In the distance, you can see Regis' cottage, his cabin, his shack, as well as your heart. It's take you some 10 minutes to 15.
Think at that point, do I have the staff?
Or was it when you went to sleep?
I was holding it. I think I would notice that it's in her. I think she notices in her hands, and kind of grip it like this very tightly. Look up at the stars. Tears welling up in her eyes. Grit her teeth. Fucking kill you. And then shake it all away and walk towards the cart.
Is this before or after Ingrid woke up, would you say?
There's no way of knowing. Whenever you reach the cart, Ingrid, where did you eventually settle? Where did you eventually settle when you woke up?
Oh, she didn't move. She just had the sword in front of her. And she just moved into a meditative stance, so she was just kind of holding onto the sword and having her forehead pressed to it. So she's awake and she's listening out. She's trying to keep herself up, though.
Cersei, you see Ingrid in this position. Ingrid, hear the footsteps.
At the sound of the footsteps, in a very fluid motion, you see Ingrid get to her knees, pull her sword out, and aim it towards you. Looking back to the cart, then back to you. Cersei!
Ingrid.
Were you... When did you... What...
We can't hesitate. We need to leave tomorrow.
She's going to jab the sword back into the ground and leave it there for a moment and walk up to her, putting her hands on Cersei's shoulders.
I can't.
What happened? Why were you not in the cart?
I don't know. I woke up in the grass. Maybe I teleported there.
Is there any signs on Cersei's face that show that she might be not telling the truth or not the whole truth?
No, she woke up in the grass. She looks pissed off.
Ingrid's going to study her for a moment and then just nod. Follow me. I have something that might help, at least for the moment. And she's going to walk back towards the cart.
Cersei will follow.
As she gets back to where the rest of her stuff is and where her sword is planted to the ground, she's going to reach into her pack and pull out a pipe. Carefully pack it with the stuff Nyoka gave her.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to offer it to Cersei.
I need to be clear-headed.
Ingrid's going to nod, but she's also going to say, understandable, but this is not going to, just a little bit helps calm. It's not going to alter you in any way. It helps. Trust me.
I am calm. I'm okay. Thank
I'd
you.
like you both to make a roll. Cersei of... Well, Ingrid, I need you to make a human perception roll. And as a reminder for both of you, you have your luck at your disposal.
I'll dump 4 luck into this.
Cersei, I need you to make an empty decision.
Okay. 17.
24.
Cersei, you may reveal what you wish about your mental state, including your degree of anger. If you are truly calm, as you say, and how this situation with Ingrid right now is rubbing you after what you've just witnessed.
I think Cersei thinks she's calm. She just thinks that this anger is more determination and drive. And she knows Ingrid's just trying to help and means well, but she just wants to move forward.
Ingrid will take notice of that. And on level with Cersei. So Ingrid's going to take a knee. Staring Cersei eye to eye. Searching. She's going to say, I recognize that look. You have my eyes. Right now. Just remember what I told you before. But I will not hold you up. We will not let him get away with any of this. He has no power over you. I have ideas, ways other than this to get you clear-headed in the moment. But I also understand the need to be alone. You are feeling this, not me. So what is it that you need?
I need time.
And that is what we have. I am here as always.
It's not.
The magical grass is one way, but it is also not terrible to take out your frustrations in a consensual and meaningful way. You could fight me, if you so wish. You could take that anger out, if you so wish. Frustrations through exertion. It can be
That's okay.
therapeutic.
I'm gonna read.
Understood. And I will be here watching.
Yeah. She'll
And-
deflate a little bit.
Ingrid's going to nod her head and then go to take her position back by her sword that's stuck into the ground.
Read the book.
You do this. One by one, all of your nights come to a close. Yes, Ben.
Why is that so menacing? You saying that to Bindi?
You awaken one by one, and we jump into Grace's downtime to travel. Is the intention to leave first thing in the morning?
Yes.
Excellent.
I think when Cal and Relg come out, Cersei would be in the cart putting her makeup on.
Ingrid's
So-
already awake and getting the horses and cart ready.
Cersei, darling.
Yeah.
Ingrid, how long until the horses are ready? Do we have a moment?
Yes. Realistically, I was just brushing pretty good and doing her normal morning routine. She's very particular. She gets huffy if I do not brush her.
I would be particular too if my name was pretty good and not excellent. But Cersei, darling, care to join me for a quick little stroll? I like to start the morning with a little stretching of the legs.
She'll stop for a moment, and she's like a brush to her eye. And she'll stop for a moment and just set it down. Sure.
Wonderful. Cal will offer his arm to Cersei, and as they get a little ways away, be like, alright, two things. You should definitely let me do your makeup when we get back to the card. I have so many ideas. The contour of your face is absolutely fucking delightful, and I think I could really do some strong work in there.
Okay.
Gotta make you look fierce, darling. Fierce.
That's a word for it.
Yes. Formidable, you know. I didn't want to bring the second point up in front of everyone else just in case it made you uncomfortable, and if it does, I don't want to pry or press or continue the discomfort. But when I mentioned back at the bathhouse a few weeks ago about your latent talent for necromancy, do you remember that conversation?
I do.
Well, I've had a bit of an epiphany. We're struggling to find out how witches are made, right?
Yeah.
From the understanding that I have, a mage some hundreds of years ago made the first witcher, right?
That's so they say.
If we could find out that mage's name, maybe find some thing that he left behind to sort of act as a conduit, I think you could summon him. Or her. I don't.
No.
No, it's not possible, or no, it's not worth the risk.
It's not worth the risk.
Again, I am in the most generous of terms, you could call me a layman in my understanding of magic. The risks would be what exactly?
Releasing an angry spirit, getting possessed, destroying everything within a certain radius around us, contacting the wrong spirit, potentially a demon, if things go really poorly.
No, good to know. Well, that shoots that in the foot. Damn.
Well, maybe we can still find their name, whoever they were, and do what I do best: research.
I would like from both of you real quick, since there are certain hot words that I pay attention to. If you would both kindly make me a roll. Cersei, you may use magical training if you so wish. Calamus, you can choose education. See, education, or if you have anything in particular in your bard tree for, well, education, monster lore, or anything in your bard tree that might talk about stories, that might assist you with stories.
Jesus.
Fine arts? Or streetwise?
I'd accept streetwise.
Bindy's being very judgy about the fine arts comment. And you know what?
She's getting real judgmental of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Bindi. We love and appreciate you.
System.
That would be an even 20 on the streetwise.
35 on magical training.
5.
Jesus.
So a 20, Calamus. We'll start off with the little bits. Oh, Bindi. We'll start off with the little bits. 20, Calamus. The mention of demons. There is a great deal of stories that delve into men and women that enter into bargains with devils and demons in order to grant their wishes, be them power, gold, knowledge, fortune, all manner of things. In these stories, the common man has access to these rituals and spells through just scraps and bits of magic. It never ends well from the stories. Of course, there are a few that the summoner outwits the devil, and that's a lovely tale, but they're few and far between. They're mostly stories about warning and such. Comfortable. For Cersei, you know for a fact that the common man can summon demons. It does not require any special training or any special gift. And they are also, with your role, you know that with what Calamus is asking, to summon the spirit of the mage and gain knowledge about how the first witches were made, that's an option. They hold vast amounts of knowledge. They have claimed vast amounts of knowledge. Get the right devil or demon. That is a route that is possible. Granted, with your magical training, you know it is incredibly ill-advised. Forbidden in some circles. Most circles.
It's not worth being haunted over. Trust me.
Well, drat. There really is going to be no clever shortcut around this one, is there?
Unfortunately, I think we're stuck taking the long road.
You know, I would like to say it's disappointing, but I actually kind of find it exhilarating. You know, I've gotten through the majority of my life on clever shortcuts. I've never taken the full long road to do anything in my life.
That's so. That doesn't, that doesn't surprise me.
The gods gifted me with a clever touch and a keen eye for opportunity.
And this man wants to be a witcher.
Well, enough of the humdrum. No more talking about ghosts and spirits and foul necromantic rituals. Let's beat your face, darling.
Okay, sure.
Wonderful. Calamus will just go back to the cart, get into Cersei's makeup bag, start shifting everything out.
Cersei is like sitting like on her knees with her hands on her knees, just like a little stiff.
Craft and grooming style.
Absolutely.
Oh my god, a grooming and style roll finally?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Okay. 27.
27. Calamus, you are able to perform this art in a manner that is fit for courts, fit for kings and queens. You can make Cersei look however you wish.
I'm thinking we're gonna go a slight deviation from like Cersei's normal style. We're going to like around the eyes. We're gonna go like a shade darker, and we're gonna go with like crisp lines, but then like a smoky gradient ending in some like nice little like speckles of like iridescent like material. We're gonna go with like a full cheek, but with a contoured jaw. Really focusing in on all of the like pleasing ambient shapes that are already present on Cersei's face. Grab a mirror,
Understood.
flip it around. What do you think?
Oh. Fierce is the word, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. I almost went with a lighter lip shade, but then I thought she would never forgive me.
I would probably find it in my heart, but you made a good choice.
As we enter into the first day, Regis bids you all farewell. You will have a little less than a fortnight of downtime, ladies and gentlemen. All in between. I'm sorry, I have non-stuck in my throat.
All good.
Don't die.
There's worse things.
I was about to say, yeah.
Is it a non-factor?
A non sequitur.
2d6 damage.
You guys are on your way. Now, we've discussed downtime a little bit and things you guys wish to accomplish. Ingrid, is there anything you wish to accomplish in this downtime?
Obviously there's going to be the training of Calamus and Relg. For Relg, it's going to be more of the same because that was the primary. She knows that Relg doesn't want to be a Witcher as far as she's concerned, unless Relg states otherwise that he wants to be a Witcher. Does Relg state any interest in that?
Not at this point in time. No, Relg would say nothing except for that he's interested in getting back into a fighting form that does not rely solely on the element of surprise
Got you.
and planning.
In this training session, over the course of these days that we do end up training on, while we started out with the basics beforehand, Ingrid is starting to feel a little more confident with you, trying to push you to be a little more confident in your own abilities that are already there, while also playing up a few different techniques that she's learned along the way, trying to show you the way people can surprise you, people can look like they're gonna attack you in one way and then feint into another. She's starting to go into more advanced tactics with you.
Perfect.
Calamus, you mentioned that you wanted just like, at first it was just more or less the basic knowledge, but Ingrid is going to suggest something to you. Sword in hand, she's going to say, it is one way to learn through the spoken word and through the written word, but I find it also exhilarating to learn with a blade in hand at the same time. She's going to take the silver sword out and toss it Calamus's way.
Sword, Ingrid.
What was that?
This
You cut out for a second.
I have a sword.
It is not a Witcher sword.
Anything
You wish to be a Witcher,
can be
yes.
anything can be a Witcher's sword if a Witcher holds it.
Technically correct, yes. But I want you to get used to how silver feels.
If I cut you with this, are you going to get all poisony? I thought that was a thing.
You will not cut me.
I hope you're right.
And Ingrid is going to... We're going to be talking about monsters while we're doing this, but she is going to start being like, yeah, we're going to train you in the swords stuff too. So yeah, you're getting the basics now. You're getting mauled by a bear.
I mean, I could go back to Skellige and get mauled by a bear. He's a count now. I really shouldn't say that about him. Just kidding.
Oh.
Rogue. Do you have anything you should accomplish during downtime?
Relg's working more on getting better when it comes to actual swordsmanship because we've gotten a bunch of close encounter issues that we've recently had. So, also working on archery, seeing if he can improve that, especially given that he now has an actual elvish bow.
Excellent.
And he's gonna push himself to spend time with Cersei while she's doing magic.
Excellent.
I mean, there was also the fact that the last thing that I wanted Ingrid to do would be to... What she's actually doing herself is continuing her practices with Cersei so she can advance her igniform.
Excellent. You do this. Cersei, you had one more check and 2 more days left on your spell.
Mm-hmm.
The day that you spent with Regis wouldn't necessarily count because you didn't really practice. We'll say 2 days into this, you're gonna make your final check, see if you can roll. Ingrid, get your dice ready as well, as the alternate form is going to cost you some IP and a number of checks.
20 IP.
I thought that was a 1. It's a 7.
Excellent. What's the meter beat for a check for this? It's the same as a journeyman spell. Let me see.
So for the journeyman spell or alternate sign, this is the... Hello? Where did you go? Word? You are going to take 20 IP. It's going to take a week. Your learning DC is 18. You're going to be taking 4 checks throughout this.
Okay.
So let's start with the first.
What is it going with? It's not just obviously it's not just a straight D10.
It's a
No.
spellcasting roll.
Spellcast.
Spellcasting roll. Can I be doing this training without my armor on?
I don't see why not.
Okay. You know why? Because I have the higher roll for when I'm sans armor. So yeah, in these moments where she's going to be training with Cersei to up her roll or to up her igni, she's going control and intensity. She will be not in her armor. So it's 8 plus. It's a natural 17 before any rolls. So
you're
that's
looking
will.
for. Basically, you're looking for 2s. If there's a 1, it's going to be an issue.
That is a 7.
Excellent. That is your first roll. And your second?
Oh, that was on the keyboard. That is a 9.
Excellent. With all of your bonuses, your second roll is a success. Your third.
Is a 3.
Cutting it close. But by all means, your third roll is a success, given all your bonuses. Your final and fourth.
That's a 10.
Excellent. Ingrid, what are you adding to your repertoire? Let the world know.
Oh boy. Not me automatically fucking forgetting what the name of it is. I took a screenshot. 1 second.
Is it Firestream?
I believe that's what it's called. Yeah. Oh gosh, I can't find it. Sorry. Let me open the book.
Not a problem. Hold on to that. Cersei, what are you adding to your repertoire? Let the world know.
Teleportation.
Teleportation. Is there any other spell that you wish to work on during this time?
I am looking at the learning magic table.
Excellent.
I can learn a master spell. I can start to learn a master spell.
Excellent. I'll give you time to reflect and think real quick. As a reminder for all of you, I said just shy of a fortnight, 2 days shy of a fortnight, 12 days. Calamus, we've discussed what you're going to be doing with your IP. You've played it out amazingly through narrative. What have you done to your character sheet? What are we looking at here?
So, Calamus has increased both their dexterity and body, going through some Rocky 1-esque montages.
Excellent.
Also, increased Calamus's swordsmanship and alchemy, but we'll get to the alchemy thing because I haven't talked about that yet.
Not a problem.
And got my first 2 dots in monster lore.
Excellent. Very excellent.
Perfect.
But
And
as
my
far as
training little thing with
the alchemy thing is concerned, just as we're moving through the territories we're going through, Calamus is looking for ingredients for the 3 formulae that he knows just off the top of his head: the black venom, the poisonous friend, and the hallucinogen. Because we're currently out our little Brugian getaway, and our subsequent blackmail and theftery emptied my stores, and that is simply unacceptable.
Excellent. You have 3 formulae. Do you happen to know the ingredients? It is the alchemical ingredients.
Let me take a look here. I have the page bookmarked. It is 143. So, for the black venom, It is 2 cubrith. It is 2 aether. And it is 1 rebus. The poisoner's friend. Let me see here. Where is it at? There it is. The poisoner's friend is 2 vermilion, 1 vitriol, and 1 halum. And the hallucinogen is 1 vitriol and 1 rebus.
Excellent. I need you to we're going to do a flat roll on this. Remember that you have your full access to your luck. Rather than make you multiple times constantly throughout all of this these 12 day, I need you to make me just a single roll. This is your foraging DC, and we'll take the average of these ingredients and I'll let you know what you get.
So that would be intelligence and wilderness survival?
Correct.
Ugh, not great. Honestly, not great. And I don't think I'm going to spend any luck on it yet. We're not super desperate. We're learning new skills. Don't need to rely on the same old bag of tricks. But that does leave us sitting at an 11, unfortunately.
11. Please note down 4 units of hand fiber, which translates to rebus. This is going to get very nitpicky.
4 portions of that?
Yes.
Okay.
Standing. I'm gonna grab 2 units of barley, which is a source of vitriol, as strange as that sounds.
Gotcha.
I want to butcher this word, but 8 units of scleroderm.
You're doing great.
That was beautiful pronunciation.
I mean, it is
that's an important part of the pronunciation.
It is the correct pronunciation.
Are you serious?
Hmm?
Okay, well, you got 8 units of that.
And that falls into which category?
Aether.
You're doing great.
Witcher in Polish makes me feel like I'm having a stroke.
I always get like paranoid about pronunciations of anything. I do have the name of the ability, by the way. Whenever you're ready, just let me know.
I'll let the world know.
It is Fire Stream. Stamina cost just as normal. Igni is variable. But the effect is Igni now throws out a continuous stream of fire and sparks from your hand, which does 1d6 damage per stamina point spent and has a 75% chance of lighting the opponent on fire. Fire Stream must be maintained every round with a number of stamina points equal to half the number of stamina points spent to cast the sign. You can switch targets on your turn, and the stream can be aimed at body locations. It can be fired at a range of 3 meters. And The only defense is dodge or block.
Excellent. Calamus, you're going to take 6 units of what is called Fool's Parsley.
That sounds like the stuff that Ingrid smokes.
It translates into Quiberth.
You said three portions of that?
It's going to be 6. Apologies.
6. Wember.
Unfortunately, no sources of vermilion with your foraging DC. And finally, unfortunately, no sources of Calum with your foraging DC. Would you remind me real quick, because I don't think I wrote it down. Well, I wrote it down. The ink smudged, and I apologize for that. The first formula you went through, it was Quiberth, Aether. What was the last ingredient?
For the prisoner's friend, it is. Where's that go? Not that one. Hold on. Did I go through the black venom first?
That's a great question.
Yes. The last one for that one was Rebus. And honestly, those two that I didn't find makes so much sense. Because a lot of the Calums you get from like there's literally only one that grows naturally. The rest of them are like you take from like monsters.
For this, you're going to take 6 units of Calendine.
Which that is a
For support, source of Rebus.
Gotcha. Perfect. Noted and noted. So it looks like I have the stuff to make hallucinogen. I have enough to make. Let's see.
You personally, yes. However, I'll remind you, the cart is stashed with a bunch of stuff if your companions are so kind to share ingredients.
That's all up to Luna, because Cersei runs the shop.
Let me just find it.
It's okay. I don't need to. I think just having the 2 portions of hallucinogen, that should be enough. I don't want to be a 3-trick pony. I need to employ my new skills. No need to bog down the usage of ingredients that could be used for other more productive things.
Relg, during your downtime, is there anything that you are increasing on your sheet?
Yes. I'm going to go for the 3rd level in the skill tree for my criminal, which is Assassin Strike.
What does that do?
So that means that if we take and we get into a fight, Rogue has the ability to, when ambushing a target, can make a roll against their awareness and basically hide.
Excellent. I love it.
And do it again.
Perfect. Is there anything else any other increases that the world should know?
No, because I'm still arguing with my character sheet.
Entirely fair. Cersei, you had something that you were looking at for master spells. Are you good?
Well, I just remembered I have my 3rd skill in the skill tree I have to get. So now I'm struggling all over again. But basically, it's between Standing Portal and Seraph Hall, which would be fantastic against Renwick.
What is the other one?
Seraph Hall. It summons fire snakes that grapple,
Oh
and
shit!
its only dodge is the only defense. And
I
it
say
sets them
flip
on
a coin.
fire.
I say flip a coin because both could be really handy.
What is your source of Seraph Hall, just out of curiosity, for narrative
The Dark
purposes?
Hold.
Excellent. I would like to denote as well, as you've been peeking through this book as well, there, as I stated before, this is a sort of grimoire. You notice that Seraph Hall is written in a different hand, a different person's handwriting.
Interesting. So I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. There's benefits to both, especially with having 2 weeks of downtime. His standing portal is 3 weeks of learning.
And how long is the other one for learning?
1 week.
You have 10 days left after your 2 days.
Standing portal could get us to places very, very easier, but we would still need an extra week.
We have travel time between Fate and either Cadfan or Heron Kaduk. Probably Heron Kaduk.
That's fair. How long? Actually, this is a question because we would have been looking at the map. How long from where Fate's location is would it be to Heron Kaduk?
Such a fun question.
I knew you'd say that.
From where Fate is?
Just say 2 weeks. Say 2 weeks. Make my day.
From where Fate is to Heron Kaduk would not be long at all. It would be a week at most. I mean, well,
To be fair,
it's about it's cresting into summer, it's spring. So the mountains wouldn't be too treacherous aside from the normal, mountain terrain. So you don't have to deal with blizzards or snow. Or you shouldn't. So it wouldn't take really long at all to get from Fate, at least from where the compass is pointing, to Ankado.
so realistically, though, we as the players who are controlling where our characters are going, we could have them wait the needed time for Cersei to learn an extra spell.
You absolutely could.
But I
Yeah.
feel like the gears in the storyteller's head are working against that too.
I have never been shy about explaining that the world will continue on without you.
Mm-hmm.
I did think of one more thing. My primary function. When we go through places, I gotta play music. I gotta make us some money.
That makes entirely a great deal of sense. And as you are traveling, sort of southwest, you can hit a couple cities. Larger cities, actually. So I would encourage Cersei, continue to think about your spell and which one you'd like to take, or if you'd like to take your start dipping points into your third.
Well, I'm gonna
on
do
your
that
tree.
regardless with my leftover IP.
Understood. Before we get into the busking and all that, Ingrid, you had something?
I did have an idea, but if anything, it could be just for flavor if this is a little too much. But since you're passing through cities, there's got to be some minor contracts around that Ingrid could have Calamus trailer on, like shadow her.
Very interesting. Interesting indeed. So, just seeking out some minor contracts.
Yeah, nothing too big, nothing too dangerous that would take us more than like a feasible amount of time to do.
A feasible amount of time. What do you mean by that?
Not more than the time that we're pretty much there, or more than the time that we're already there for.
Well, your 12 days is you guys traveling non-stop, stopping for evenings, and it would grab time for Calamus to busk, but as far as taking contracts would add time onto your travel.
Do we want to spend? Well, do we want to take more time?
Maybe like no more than 2 days extra. Also, I found in my notes a thing that Rogue wanted to do. I just don't know how many points I'm gonna put into it.
Mhm.
Like, Regis was saying, we don't have a doctor, and Cersei was saying how tired she gets after doing all her magic and healing. So Rogue's gonna try to learn healing the old-fashioned way and up that first aid.
Excellent.
That's so smart. That's so
That is
good.
really
Narratively gathered a bunch of aloe at this
Yeah.
point. So,
Just
Um,
at some point in the back of the cart, everything spread out in front of it, being like, all right,
Calamus.
well, we can kill some of that. But...
to accommodate for the Ingrid wanting to take the minor contracts on the way. If I were to make a deal that I would only busk in half of the cities along the way, and we would hunt in the other ones, would that not increase our travel time?
It wouldn't necessarily increase your travel time, because the way the contracts would work is you're starting from scratch. You'd come out and say you find a notice board that says like, "My daughter's gone missing. There was strange tracks in her room that faded into the wilderness." You are starting from scratch, and you are essentially leading an investigation. To think you could do that in a few hours would be not outside of the realm of possibility. Now that I think about it, I'll say this: what do you have in monster lore, Ingrid?
My monster lore right now is at a 4.
What's your Witcher training?
My Witcher training is at. Oh God, that's right, because I forgot to put more XP into it. It's at 5.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Roll me Witcher training, and this is going to determine if it's possible to kind of take a couple contracts along the way. Something that will be simple, such as what are the little bastards that start with a B?
Little bastards, obviously.
20.
Oh, bastards. 20. One, Calamus?
Can
Uh,
I give my luck to this roll?
I already rolled.
Since we're doing this together.
I would normally make you a devil's bargain, but luck must be allocated before the roll, as Ingrid
Cool.
said. So with a 20, I'll allow you one contract.
Okay.
I'm not gonna have Calamus. You don't have to sacrifice any busking in through the cities, because the busking is a nighttime activity. You can be done before you wind down for bed.
Boggarts. Sorry, that was
Thank you.
the little bastards with the B name. Boggarts.
Diamond. Yes, I'll allow a contract, a single contract, and then Calamus, you can make your the performance stuff.
Okay.
How many rolls would you like me to make?
Well, looking at the map here, let's call it 3.
Gotcha. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is roll Return Act for all 3 of those. Which, if I succeed against a DC set by the GM to see if I have played in this town before, if I am successful, I've already made a name for myself in this town, and my busking income is doubled.
You, for sure, would have played. There's no DC really to give. Sintra, you've wandered through Sintra. And that's essentially what you guys are stomping through here.
We're in Sintra proper now.
You guys are technically in Sintra proper, yeah.
Okay.
Love it.
Okay.
So, do I need to make that roll, or are we just constituting that as a yes?
I'm constituting that as a yes. There's no with especially with the backstory that has already been established. You're golden.
All right. So my first busking roll is going to be a 26.
26.
The total roll of this roll is the amount of money raked in while they're performing, and then that would be doubled. So, are these crowns or florins before I
These
start
are-
taking my notes?
Technically, Sintra, this is going to be...
52.
I want to say that this is Nilfgaardian Florins, but let me double check. I want to say yes.
Does it specifically say the type of currency that you get in your ability, or just just the specific currency?
It's
within?
whatever the local currency is.
I would say, well, I'll tell you what. Odds it's going to be Nilfgaardian Florins, and then evens it's going to be Ducats, which is a whole other separate section of currency, and I apologize for that, but it was local currency of Sintra. Evens. That is going to be Ducats.
Okay, so we'll make a new column for that kind of point.
I am so sorry.
No, you're good, you're good. So that's... I'm going to do that math over here on this page. So the first
Is that
city was...
currency in the book itself? Or...
Yes, Ducats are worth 3 crowns.
Oh, so it's the same as florins, because florins are also worth...
Nilfgaardian, Nilfgaardian is I'm sorry. The exchange rate, one Redanian crown is worth a third Nilfgaardian florin, and a one Redanian crown is worth 3 ducats. I'm sorry, I got that backwards. So
Got you.
3 of those would be worth 1 crown.
So it's divided by 3 instead of times 3.
Correct.
And then my next roll, that's 16 plus 8 is 24, plus 10 is 34. 34 times 2 is 68. So that's another 68 ducats. Which, no, I'll say that after stream. It's fine. And then the third. Plus my 7 luck, which is 10. Plus the busking, which is 18. Plus my empathy, which would make it 20. So that would be another 40. So we'll go ahead and math this up really quick. And divide that by 4. Everybody gets 40 ducats from the playing of the music.
Excellent.
Along the way. Great. Wonderful. Perfect. Yeah, that's everything for Calamus.
Ingrid, because you're taking one contract, I need you to make a couple rolls for me, please.
Of course.
I need you to roll Monster Lore, Witcher Training. This is going to be to begin tracking and figuring out what you're dealing with.
Both Monster Lore and Witcher Training?
Or
Oh, let's do Witcher Training. That's 5 plus intelligence.
While she's rolling, how many ducats did we get?
40, correct?
Cool.
That's 10. So that's 12 plus 10. It's 22 plus 29.
29. Need you to roll Tactics.
Oh. We were just talking about that too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 0 plus 7. So that's 7 plus 14.
Say it again.
14.
14. Downtime is always interesting to see how much rolls are made.
I love downtime.
Same.
So,
Appreciate it.
while I look this up, let's get a review. Calamus, what have you done during this downtime? We'll go around the table real quick just so we have a consolidated
Calamus
consolidated time frame.
has been training with Ingrid, improving their skills in alchemy, learning the monster lore that they can, and going through Rocky 1-esque montages of push-ups, jumping jacks, lifting heavy objects and putting them different places. I pick things up and put them down. And, of course, as is normal, though not his normal set, coming back through Sintra, playing for old friends and new faces alike, starting every set with this song that he learned from Regis and has filled in the blanks for, and against his better judgment, doing Gwen ap Patal as well. Just kind of shaking his vibe up a little bit.
Excellent. And Ingrid, what have you accomplished? What are you doing during this?
Witcher and swordsmanship training with Calamus, advanced swordsmanship training with Relg, and then for her personal self, it's training with Cersei to continue to increase her control of the chaos that is Igni, and try not to overexert herself, but still not compromising the power that she wishes to put behind her Igni. Successfully training that into fire spray. And all the while, this single hunt to kind of whet Calamus's whistle, so to speak, on doing these sort of Witcher contracts. I think as a note for for everybody, that the moment we officially crossed the border into Nilfgaardian Sintra, there would be a noticeable shift to an even sterner, more tense Ingrid. That's it.
Excellent. So, as a note, real quick, Ingrid, the contract you take ends up being that of a group of knockers, 3 of them in particular. I won't stress too much about what you get up to with those just yet, but I'll give you time between now and next session to figure out how you accomplished that, what you did. Cersei, what did you accomplish?
Cersei finished learning teleportation. She helped Ingrid learn Firestream. She practiced focusing with both her amulet and the succubus wand at the same time, decreasing the stress that magic puts on her. And she began learning... can I buy 2 pearls in Sintra? Or a lunar shard?
Do you have the money?
I do. I can tell you what they're worth. I got it pulled up.
Let me know what they're worth.
A pearl is worth 100 crowns.
Buy
And
2
a
pearls.
lunar... Okay, so that's 200 crowns. And then lunar shard is worth 91 crowns.
You can grab 2 pearls.
Okay. I'm gonna mark here that we have 4 now.
And did you figure out what spell you wanted to begin to learn?
I wanted to put it to the group because I can't decide.
Well, here's the question that we could ask both in character and out of character. Do we want to take more time?
Before we continue with this line of question, Relg, what did you accomplish during this downtime?
I forgot. If we're going through towns, there's something that I need to do for Relg. But Relg is once again working on becoming a better swordsman with Ingrid, some exposure therapy
Yes.
with Cersei, and also working on learning how to do better first aid so we don't have to burn through so much magic to heal. And anytime we stop in the town, he has to find a card game.
Sure.
So
I would also like to point you out, Relg. Oh
Mhm.
no, you guys left that stuff behind, didn't? Stuff you guys pilled.
We left a lot behind.
Oh yeah, we were gonna go sell it, and then we didn't get a chance to. Yeah.
Do
You
we
left it in the
Yeah.
bathhouse. You left it in the
no,
bathhouse.
it's in the bathhouse.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We left
Okay.
it and ran because we fought a Brooksa.
Yeah, because you also stashed it like we'll come back for it later.
Yeah, we'll come
Yeah.
back for later. And we're gonna go meet a guy, and then we'll sell it to him, and then we got, lovingly kidnapped by an elf.
Yeah. So, you wanted to find a card game.
Yeah, anytime we stop in a town, it's not a problem if you win, right?
Want us back my 200 crowns?
As somebody who had a grandfather who loved betting on horses, that's a whole thing.
Look, it's fine. It's fine.
What you got for me, Relg?
Alright, so I have to roll, what, gambling?
Mm-hmm.
Is that intelligence and gambling?
That is
Empathy. It's empathy and gambling.
Yeah.
Oh.
Interesting combination. I like it.
I
Huh.
like that.
Yeah, you don't play with cards, you play the people. Okay, so what is that? So plus 12.
I love every time you roll, there's like a little whisper of panic.
Yeah, no, it's there consistently. We panic. 19 for the first roll. I don't know how many
Excellent.
card games we've found in the past week.
We'll say every time you guys stop in a major city, we'll go the same rate as Calamus. We'll do 3 rolls.
Okay. Alright. Oh, yeah, 19. Okay. All right. Solid streak going on there. Ooh, it explodes. I said did so good on the last game. Everything's great. I'm gonna win you back those crowns. It's gonna happen.
Hell yeah.
Basic math is the worst math. 26.
26.
26.
Understood. And this is based into your skill tree, correct?
No.
Oh, this is just gambling.
This is part of the life path that went fuck that elf in particular.
Oh, God. Okay. So we're
Yeah.
determining... Cool. There's no chart. We're just gonna fuck around.
There's no chart. But it literally was like, you have a gambling addiction now. And I was like, all right.
All right, 2 19s, and what was the last one?
26.
Okay. I'll put this to the group. I'll put this to all 4 of you. What we're going to be doing is forming pots, because, it's gambling. So, discuss amongst yourselves, what's the wager? Let's call it between 1 and 100. You must choose a number and decide on it. And I'm going to make these rolls to see if I can beat Relg, just off of a stat block I've got here.
Are
we looking for
Well-
the higher or the lower?
It depends on the game too, because if we're finding Gwent tables, or
Well,
if we're finding, because Gwent is a 1 versus 1 game, so the betting is very different. But if we're finding like pooled card games where there's like 4 to 5 players, then we might be looking at a different return to investment rate.
Gwent is Ingrid's original vice, by the way.
Wanna play some Gwent?
Oh yeah, Ingrid will if you ask. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Me every 13 seconds playing The Witcher 3.
I prefer the standalone game myself. For Gwent.
Yeah, 10 you generally figure out the odds. 13 you win against average people. 16 you spend on most people, and 20 you're known across cities as a master gambler. Okay.
Christ.
Oh my god.
So what are we deciding now?
How much
How-
money we're
how
putting up
much-
for each butt.
All of it, of course.
Okay, if you leave Rogue alone. Yes. Yes.
I would feel comfortable if we were doing like 35 to 50 ducats a game as investment into the pool.
Mm-hmm. I like
Those are
that.
rookie numbers.
As a narrative point,
Mhm.
are you guys all aware that Relg is gambling, or is this Relg something that you went to go do on your own?
Rogue doesn't talk about it. Rogue's
Then
just like, I got something to do.
we will start out with your coin that you have. What do you
Oh, I
have?
have 30 crowns and 40 ducats, and I can't read the amount I made 2 sessions
am-
ago. It says 60, but I don't know 60 what.
Florins.
Florins. 60
See,
florins.
that's great, because I forgot how many florins we got last session, and I didn't want to ask, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Also, I imagine that Rogue is gambling at the same places that Calamus is busking at.
Probably. I'm using
So-
you as a distraction.
Yeah, and if Rogue needs any money to boost their,
Stop
bets,
enabling him. Stop it.
you enable me, I enable you. This is what we do. This is how our relationship works, Rogue.
Wait, was that
That's
florins
fine.
each of us? Or just the pot, the whole total?
60 apiece.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this was from a couple sessions ago. So yeah, I got 30 crowns, 40 ducats, and 60 florins, and it's all going towards these games.
Okay, so real
Okay.
quick, first round of gambling. You try to keep it quiet. It's going to be just you.
Mm-hmm.
1, what game do you find? 2, how much of this coin, and any combination of the 3 currencies, would you like to bet?
Probably all the
Nice.
crowns for this one. Being like, no, like just a quick game. All this is going on, nothing too big, nothing too fancy. Just all 30 crowns.
Quick game of what, Relg?
Oh, it's always Gwent.
Always
Unless
Gwent.
it's a dice. Oh, unless it's a dice game,
And
which he doesn't like doing unless they're very broke because he has loaded dice.
how many crowns are you putting on the first game?
30.
Double it.
Woo!
That first game of Gwent is quite fortuitous. You're going to get back.
60 crowns.
Mhm.
We're drinking the good wine tonight. It's happening.
So, this is your first game. We'll say you're feeling pretty good. We'll say this happens in the first city. You all notice Rel comes back a little later than the rest of you. The second city, Rel goes off to be alone again. This is about the time where your friends can start, hey, what are you up to? Calamus, you can be busking if you'd like during this time, but Cersei, Ingrid, you have full choice as well well, Calamus as well. You can begin before, after, or during. All of you can start to notice Rel keeps getting an itch or something here.
Calamus knows what's going on. He's just busking. He's like, this is my boyfriend. This is what he does.
Probably before on a second night, unless Cersei, you had something you want to say first.
Cersei is very much a mind her business kind of person.
You're not fair. Ingrid, probably as you're starting to walk off, Rogue, you're gonna feel an Ingrid hand on your shoulder, and she's gonna say, going off on solo training. I understand.
Yeah.
You're doing well.
God, I hope so.
Are you okay? You look a little...
Always. And just like pats, like reaches up to pat Ingrid on the shoulder.
You find another Gwent table, Relg. there's a sleazy-looking gentleman, seems to be taking everyone's pot. He's eager to see you approach and says, "New player. Excited to. I hope your coin purse is filled."
I don't know how much you got on yours, mine.
Take a seat. How much would you like to bet?
60 florins.
60 florins.
Mm-hmm.
He will raise you your 60 florins. He'll match that. But he will place down an ornate, what looks like a ceremonial, doesn't look like it's meant to be used. Silver inlaid with ruby pommel dagger. He wants your bow as a match.
What's it look like it's worth?
Oh, the ruby is quite large. You can tell where normally a dagger would have brass or copper or even steel as the cross guard. It is likely looks like a softer metal. As I said, this is not meant to be used. This is likely a ceremonial blade meant to be kept on a mantle. There's a fancy inscription. It looks worth probably 300 crowns, maybe more if it was polished up.
Think about it. Think about it. You rolled a 19 on this one.
I did. I rolled a 19. Now here's the thing. It doesn't really match up, but this, and Rogue's gonna pull down like his hood where it attaches to his gnomish armor. But this is something here.
What's that?
And he'll let him take a look, like pull up a sleeve where you can see the actual links, the fine craftsmanship. And he's gonna wager.
Interesting.
Yep, the gnomish chain.
He pulls a second sack of coin from his pouch. Says, "I'd really like that bow. Matter of fact, takes a second, or rather a third pouch of coin, places it down. I'd like both. You look confident." For clarity, what is at stake here, what he's wagering, is the dagger, your 60 florin, and what can be acquainted to in these two pouches, 126 crown.
That's a lot. So for Rogue, this is a problem. So can I make an insight check? He seems real confident as well. Is he cheating? That's what Rogue is.
Good call.
Good.
Go ahead
Very
and
fucking good call.
give me a. Is this human?
Empathy and human perception?
This is human perception.
That's your luck.
That's only a 14.
14. Difficult to tell. He just seems very confident. Unsure of whether or not he's cheating.
It's a good bet. We can always steal it back later.
Or kill him. I mean,
Take the bet.
Mm-hmm.
A handshake between. The game is had. Relg, kindly erase from your
Okay.
and then add it back because you won the game.
Oh, okay.
Christ on a bike.
That's amazing.
You're gonna take 126 crown plus the 60 florin, and this
Fuck yeah,
ruby
okay.
encrusted dagger, and then in parentheses go ahead and put what's worth 312 crown.
Okay.
Oh my god.
That
My
I
heart
can't
sank, and I
believe
was like
I-
mentally getting ready to be like, we're about to kill this man over.
Yeah,
the
no.
fucking-
Buddy.
Rogue's like gonna slink back home and be like, "Go." They took my clothes anyway. So it was 120.
126.
26. Okay.
So proud of
Alright.
you. Look at you giving into your vice and winning.
That's crazy.
For the viewers at home, no.
No, yeah, don't
Don't do
actually.
this.
Yeah,
For the viewers
let's
at
take a
home.
a
Yes.
quick sidebar. There's a hotline for this, guys. All you got to do is look it up, the National Gambling Hotline. If you struggle with the gambling addiction, get help, please.
Callum
Yeah,
is
no, I
like
legitimately had a
breaking
family
from
member
the
that was like
schoolyard
that.
special, being like, "Hey kids, we've had a lot of fun today."
Yeah. We've had a lot of fun. Don't be these fictional characters.
Yeah, no. As
Um,
somebody who has a family
oh my
member
God.
that is gripped with that, no.
So yeah, Rogue's gonna shove it all into the various pockets of his overcoat, and
Relg comes back jingling on this second city stop. It's very difficult to hide here, Relg. Cersei, Ingrid, Calamus. I think that when you get back to the cart, it's a small space. It's not huge. It's also not like terribly cramped, but Relg is just.
So
What
you
sort of-
had a good night.
had a fantastic night. Thank you very much. I got you something. And like reaches in, pulls out the ruby dagger, hands it over to Calamus.
Thank you, darling.
Since you're doing all your training and everything.
Is it silver?
As a note, I was gonna say, Ingrid, perhaps Calamus might notice, but Ingrid for sure you would notice the blade edge along the top, the non-slicing end. It is nice, covered, ornate in gold. The blade edge itself is silver.
Ingrid is going to walk up. First, she's going to look to Relg and say, "That is some fascinating solo training. May I see that blade, Calamus?"
Darling, and he'll just roll it across his knuckles and hand it out. Pommel
Impressive.
first.
And she's going to grab it and then inspect the blade. Silver edge. This is good. Maybe not a full blade, but this is definitely something that will come in handy. Perhaps with this.
And we get enough of these, we can go to a silversmith and make me a sword.
Fair enough. And she's
Absolutely.
Going
Plan
to
that.
attempt to do a similar trick to
Elmas is
hand you
gonna
back the
slip
sword.
slip that into the hidden bracer sheath that he has.
Excellent. One last roll, Relg. This is your largest roll, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 26.
So I'll ask your companions, do you join Relg in this? Do you watch this happen?
Ingrid's curious. Yeah, she's gonna go this time. And if it's Gwent, she's taking part.
Cersei doesn't want to be alone, so yeah.
Elmas is playing tunes, man.
Do you guys wish to contribute to the bets?
Sure. What are we betting this time? Ducats, florins, crowns? Does it matter? We can mix and match, right?
You sound like a fucking
Yeah.
bank.
Yeah, as
Um,
Rogue has Calamus's purse, so
Yeah.
I'll throw in, oh lord, 20 ducats.
Ingrid is throwing in 255 crown, 60 florin, and 40 ducats.
Jesus Christ. Are we playing cards against the fucking mayor of the city?
Yes.
Okay. Repeat that one more time, Ingrid.
255 crown,
Mm-hmm.
60 florin, and 40 ducats.
40.
Just thinking about where that crown can go. Oh Lord.
Yeah,
I
no, I
gave
can
you
just
the bulk of my crown. I gave you like so many thousands worth of crown already.
just-
Relg,
like see the scene of like Cersei putting down coin, Relg's putting down 20 crowns, so no one knows how bad this is.
And
Just be
Ingrid is
like, yeah,
just-
no, 20 crowns. And then Ingrid just being like, this is how we gamble, just taking the bag and dumping it upside down and being like, this.
Cersei might have a flashback to when Ingrid tried to pull out her purse several times in Vizima.
what is the amount you would like to bet, Relg?
20 crown.
20 crown. Cersei, are you contributing?
20 ducats.
20 ducats.
Ingrid is just gonna place a hand on Relg's shoulder and she's gonna squeeze and she's gonna say, "I have faith in you."
So on the line for all of you is 275 crown, 60 florin, and 60 ducats. This is a hefty amount of coin. You find
We're gonna need to buy another horse if we win.
you find that it is difficult to find someone who is willing to match this bet. No one carries this much coin, really. Even addicts. However, you find someone who is willing to match the bet in goods and coin. What you have here the individual is going to offer something I would like one of you, elect whoever would like, to roll me a d10.
Not it.
9.
Fair enough.
Love how quick that was.
No, I'm glad it was you. I just rolled a 1. Yep, fuck that. Nope.
Oh no, we lost Luna.
Oh no.
Come back.
Oh, welcome back.
Hello.
Sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. We literally, it literally looked like you were gone for like a split second.
Mm-hmm.
You
Because the
find
camera.
an individual who is hello, Bindia. Who is willing to match you. Says, hooded figure in armor that clinks when he walks. Sits down across from you, says, I'll see your bet. Slams something down on the table. The pouch seems a little bit wet. He says, take it or leave it.
Ingrid's lighting her pipe as she watches this.
It's just a wet bag.
What you can tell right now, yeah.
God, I gotta know. Yeah, no.
Say done.
Mm-hmm.
What was the result of your roll for this one? I apologize. It was like a 26.
6.
Like went.
Yeah.
Ingrid
Go
smoking her
ahead.
pipe feverishly watching the hands get played.
You can go ahead and add wet bag to your inventory. And
All
since
right.
I know this question is going to be asked, should you peek inside, you find what looks like a it looks like just a hunk of meat, almost like a chunk of brain matter.
Does Ingrid know what it is?
What's your initial thought, Rel?
If it had been, how long have we known each other? Like a month and a half ago, he would have been like, I just got screwed. Now it's, whose brain is this?
Ingrid,
Or what's
Cersei,
brain is this?
Calamus, you hear that thought in your heads,
Oh,
in Relg's voice.
Rel, did you say something? What was that?
Magic training, magic training, magic training.
Oh, magic training!
Does Cersei say that out loud exactly like
Just waving the fingers.
that?
Oh, it sucks. 18.
There are
sucks. High roll.
certain there is a not terribly unknown ritual that is used to claim certain parts of a creature as a trophy. Whoever you met, as he kind of storms away from the table and says, "May it serve you," departs, must have been a monster hunter. This was likely a trophy that he took from somebody and then had the ritual performed to create an imbued trophy with some magical properties. For your knowledge, Relg,
Mm-hmm.
you can only have one active trophy at a time.
Okay.
Mechanically speaking, you need to kind of reflect on this. It's like attunement almost.
Okay.
But this, for your knowledge, is is the frontal lobe of a bruxa, and you can communicate telepathically with characters within 20 meters of you.
Perfect. Love it. We're gonna have to be careful about this. Relg says very little out loud, but he thinks a lot.
Like I said, mechanically you kind of need to reflect on this, but that is a
Uh-huh.
reveal for the narrative.
Perfect. Yep, he's gonna carry around that wet bag.
Wet bag.
Yeah.
So I assume looking at it, Ingrid knows what it is.
You would know that it's brain. If you would like to roll Witcher training, well, you would know that it was a trophy of sorts. It's got. Should you peer into it a little bit more, there's some sort of arcane energy that's peeking beneath the lobe,
28.
beneath the wrinkles.
My Witcher training roll was 28.
Yeah, you can recognize that this is an imbued trophy.
And she's going to try to look to see if she can catch a glimpse of the guy that Rogue was playing with. You said he's already stormed off.
Yes, he's
Gotcha.
in the tavern, but we can get to that. Relg as well for your notes. Should you wish to flaunt this, you will have a +1 reputation as a slayer of monsters.
All right. Brooks a brain, +1 rep.
With that, dear friends, we're so far over time, and we have completed our downtime. Cersei, did you select a spell in all of this?
I'm gonna take. I think I'm gonna take the time.
We'll
between
return
sessions
next
to think
sessions to
about
figure
it.
out what you did, in those
did have
last
one-
10 days.
I have one question. Did you say I
Well,
got a lunar shard or not?
Just 2 pearls.
Okay, cool. I just
Because
wanted to make sure.
if I'm not mistaken, we'll get after it after game.
Yeah, it's fine.
Check the rarity and such. We have to sign off. It is so late, and we went so far over time. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I'm sorry to the gambling. I got into it. I'm sorry. I'm an addict.
That's all good.
It's a great mechanic in a fictional game. In a fictional
Yes.
game where everything's made up and the consequences aren't real.
Yeah, we didn't get any consequences for me betting every single bit of money I had.
This is the biggest piece of fiction in this game.
So we'll go around the room real quick. Calamus, if you would kindly, who are you? What do you do? Where can we find you?
Hello, yet again. It is I, Avery, or at the Golden Gwydion on all of the social media platforms. I am so right here again on the Rolling Nomads as a storyteller for the wonderful Vampire 20th Edition Chronicle Transylvania Beckons. Also, little teasy tease, you'll be seeing me in some manner of time in the nearness of the future as Edgar Waite in Berlin Bloodlines, which will be ran by the wonderful Honey von Schland right here on the Rolling Nomads as well. And this evening, I have been Calamus Acris.
Thank you so much. Can't wait to be in Berlin Bloodlines with you, and thank you very much for being here and handling my nonsense. Next up, Cersei, if you kindly.
Luna or Druid by Night. You can find me at Druid by Night on all the things, including here on Twitch, where I stream Monday to Friday. I play in Transylvania Beckons as Rosalind, the first Tremere Prince. I can speak. And I will also be in Berlin Bloodlines as Imogen Lamia. So that's gonna be fun. But tonight I have been indecisive Sorceress Supreme, Cersei Abilene.
Indeed, you have, and we really appreciate you doing that. Ingrid, if you would kindly.
Hi, everybody. I'm the Azure Butterfly, or Azure for short, or simply Rachel. You can find me at the azurebutterfly.ttv here on twitch.tv. And I am also in Transylvania Beckons as Prince Juliana Volstadt. I will also be in Berlin Bloodlines as well as Maria Rossellini. I am Ingrid of Sintra, the Bear Witcher. That's me. I'm just her.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. And of course, last but certainly not least, Relg.
Hello. Today I have been Relg, everybody's favorite criminal, but on the day-to-day, I am actually as I was on the social medias, because I think I'm funny. And sometimes I am. But you can catch me here on the Rolling Nomads at the game you just watched, as well as in Transylvania Beckons playing, what did y'all call him? The Prince of Our Hearts, right?
Yep.
Jack. Gangrel. Tremere Hunter. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And you can also catch me Berlin Bloodlines as everyone's weird cousin, Adelaide Novak, the Nagaraja.
Very excited for it.
Adelaide. Anyway.
Me, myself, I've been your Game Master, Gilbert Ramos, found everywhere at Ramos the Nomad. That's TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, Blue Sky, all of the things. I am Game Master here on Rolling Nomads for many a game. I play a neglectful parent to my dog, apparently. She thinks I'm the worst. But I play games. I will also be in Berlin Bloodlines, Dr. Tullio Giovanni. I'm gonna be a problem, but I'm gonna try to look good doing it. So that's the cast. We, of course, have been the Rolling Nomads, and we really appreciate being here. You can find us right here on twitch.tv/Rolling Nomads, finding all these actual plays, all these episodes. We have a lot of stuff planned for 2024, so we hope you stick around. You can find us over on our Twitter and our Blue Sky, which is on Twitter at _Rolling Nomads, on Blue Sky at Rolling Nomads. That's where you can find our cancellations, our late starts, our going live announcements, our new programming, our special episodes, all the stuff we do. And that'll be our best source of information. You can find these episodes over on YouTube, youtube.com/Rolling Nomads, where you can find all the previous episodes. And catch up if you need to. They get uploaded every 4 days after each original air date on Twitch, so there's a schedule to it, and we're keeping to it. It's been good. I think we have TikTok. I gotta figure that out. I gotta figure how to implement that. That's where you would find clips, and key moments and interesting stuff for our shows. So head over there, check out stuff, and you might find something that you didn't know you liked, and you might be put onto something new. That is us in a handbasket. Ingrid, you had something?
I just wanted to point this out that if you do have something that you like in other VODs or that you're seeing, feel free to clip them, and you may see them pop up onto the TikTok.
Yes, please.
Absolutely, absolutely.
God,
Clipping
please help
things
me.
helps. Yeah. Thank you so much. That's us in a handbasket and a basket of hands. So we really appreciate you guys. Thank you for sticking around for this extra long, extra special episode of Witcher Ways of Old. We will see you guys next time. Same place, same heroes. See you then.